Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading again, text 30. Sa adibhuta didaivam. Okay, let's do it again. Sadibhuta didaivam. Sadhibhuta didaivam. Mam sadhyatyam cha ye vidhu sadhibhuta didaivam sadhyagyam cha ye vidhu prayana kale pichamam prayana kale pichamam te vidhur yukta cetasa prayana kale pichamam te vidhur yukta cetasa Saadibhuta, and the governing principle of material manifestation. Adidhaivam, governing all the demigods. Mam, me. Sa adhyagyam, and governing all sacrifices. Cha, also. Ye, those who. Vidhu, know. Prayana, of death. Kale, at the time. Api, even. Cha, and. Mam, me. Te, they. Vidhu, no. Yukta cetasa, their minds engaged in me. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of material manifestation, of the demigods, and of all methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. Everybody all please repeat. Those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation, of the demigods, and of all methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. So if you know all of this, guaranteed you will never forget Krishna. That's what. Purport. Persons acting in Krishna consciousness are never deviated from the path of entirely understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the transcendental association of Krishna consciousness, one can understand how the Supreme Lord is the governing principle of the material manifestation and even of the demigods. Gradually, by such transcendental association, one becomes convinced of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and at the time of death, such a Krishna conscious person can never forget Krishna. Naturally, he is thus promoted to the planet of the Supreme Lord, Goloka Vrindavan. This 7th chapter particularly explains how one can become a fully Krishna conscious person. The beginning of Krishna consciousness is association of persons who are Krishna conscious. Such association is spiritual and puts one directly in touch with the Supreme Lord, and by His grace, one can understand Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At the same time, one can really understand the constitutional position of the living entity and how the living entity forgets Krishna and becomes entangled in material activities. By gradual development of Krishna consciousness in good association, the living entity can understand that due to forgetfulness of Krishna, he has become conditioned by the laws of material nature. He can also understand that this human form of life is an opportunity to regain Krishna consciousness and that it should be fully utilized to attain the causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord. Many subjects have been discussed in this chapter: the man in distress, the inquisitive man, the man in want of material necessities, knowledge of Brahman, knowledge of Paramatma, liberation from birth, death, and diseases, and worship of the Supreme Lord. However, he who is actually elevated in Krishna consciousness does not care for the different processes. He simply directly engages himself in activities of Krishna consciousness and thereby factually attain his constitutional position as an eternal servitor of Lord Krishna. In such a situation, he takes pleasure in hearing and glorifying the Supreme Lord in pure devotional service. He is convinced that by his doing so, all his objectives will be fulfilled. This determined fate is called Dridha Brata, and it is the beginning of bhakti-yoga or transcendental loving service. That is the verdict of all scriptures. This 7th chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita is the substance of that conviction. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 7th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad-Gita in the matter of knowledge of the Absolute. Om Agyanam Timirandasya Gyanam Gyana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalang Shri Gurung Vaishnavamscha Shri Rutam Sabjatan Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakam Vitamscha He Krishna Paruna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kipa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Sadhi Bhutadi Dhaivam Mam Sadhiyagya Chaye Vidhu Prayana Kale Pichamam Te Vidhur Yukta Chetasa. Again, the translation. Those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation of the demigods and of all the methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. To the perfection of the existence in this material world is to revive one's original Krishna consciousness. Somehow or other, we have come in contact with the material energy, and therefore we become covered up by the three modes of material nature, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance. Inevitably, anyone who is in the material world, either he is a conditioned soul, and very rare is an eternally liberated soul, a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. Ultimately, though, we are all devotees of the Supreme Lord, even those who are conditioned, those who have forgotten who is Krishna, those who have forgotten their relationship with the Supreme Lord, those who have forgotten what is their main duty, to serve and love the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But somehow or other, this is the nature of the material world. Those who are in conditioned state, they are what you call have forgetfulness. That's part of being in the material world. And as Prabhupada says, because the Supreme Lord's body is eternal, it doesn't change. Therefore, He remembers past, present, and future. The conditioned soul, however, because their body changes, even there's medically proven, there's a research done that every second our body cells changes. And every 12 years, completely change. The whole, like complete shuffling. No more. It's like if you have a cell, and after 12 years, those cells will be died, and then you'll have a new one. So every time the cell dies, one is being propagated. Then after 12 years, you're completely different, body-wise. Just like a child, when he or she turns into 12, he is in the youth, and then 24, then 36, then 48, then 60. Every time our body changes. The only thing that doesn't change in our body, it says in the medical analysis, is our eyes. Everything changes. It's like if you see a child, it'll have the same. Maybe just a little bit, very little change. Ultimately, the soul is the one that doesn't change. It's eternal. It's everlasting. It's primeval. When the body dies, the soul remains the same. And the purpose, as we were reading the other day, Prabhupada was asked by Brahmatirtha Prabhu in that perfect question, perfect answer book. What is the goal of life? The goal of life is to know God. There's no other purpose. To know God means to know how to go back home, back to Godhead, to understand the process. So, in Krishna consciousness, a person who is in Krishna consciousness, he is fully Krishna conscious, that means 24 hours he is thinking of Krishna. He is fully conscious of the Supreme Lord. He knows His attributes, He knows His qualities, He knows His aspects, as this title indicates, knowledge of the Absolute. In the Bhagavad-Gita, there are 5 major topics being discussed, and one of them is Isvara. Isvara means not just Isvara. Prabhupada says also, we're also Isvaras, but he is Param Isvara, topmost master. Isvara means also a proprietor. Up to a certain extent, we're also proprietor. We're proprietor of this body. We're proprietor of a certain amount of wealth, certain amount of intelligence, certain amount of strength, and so on. But ultimately, we are property of Lord Krishna. We are not the sole proprietor of ourselves. Just like when Sanatan Goswami, he contracted some disease on the way to Puri to meet the Supreme Lord. He passed through the jungle and he contracted some disease. So he says, what is the use of this body? I might as well just give it up. And at the day of Ratha Yatra, I will put myself under the wheels of Lord Jagannath, Ratha Yatra time. And when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu found out, he says, you cannot do that. You don't own yourself. I own you. You are my property. So, the process of becoming Krishna conscious is to understand who we are, our relationship with Krishna, who is God. And we cannot do it by ourselves, just by reading the Bhagavad-Gita on our own. It is not possible to be a scholar of the Bhagavad-Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam or other Vedic literatures. It's not possible. You have to learn the nature of the Absolute Truth from those who are self-realized. Pure devotees of the Supreme Lord. Now, the pure devotees of the Supreme Lord, not necessarily they are Uttama Bhaktas, because they're very rare. You don't see them walking in the street, by the hundreds. No, it's not necessarily one who's wearing saffron cloth is a pure devotee. One also who's wearing white can be a pure devotee. Pure devotee means he's 100%, not engaged in any material activities, and only concern is how to please the Supreme Lord 24 hours a day. He's a pure devotee. A pure devotee can be a neophyte. Neophyte means that person who is like beginning. If he is very sincere, if he's trying to become a devotee of the Supreme Lord, very sincere, in spite of difficulties, in spite of so many obstacles. He may not be a big scholar. He probably doesn't know how to read and write. But he heard that, if I serve Krishna, that is the goal of life. He is a pure devotee. So, in our practice of Krishna consciousness, we have to seek a devotee who is a little bit more advanced than we do. Because by having such association of those who are more advanced than we are, then we will make progress. If we associate with those devotees who are like-minded, equal level, the progress is there also, but is not as fast. It's not so speedy. Hmm? It says in the Shastras that the association of devotees is compared to wood. If you're wood alone, and you have a wood's tendency to have fire, there's fire inside, but it will not have produce fire not until you have another wood and you scrap, or you brush, or you strike with each other. Fire will come out. Similarly, it is explained in the Shastra that devotees, because they are overflowing with bhakti, then if you associate with those devotees who are very, very advanced, then just by moment of association with them, you also become not infected, because infected is there's some kind of like derogatory meaning. Infected means like a disease, but bhakti is not a disease. Bhakti is the nature of the soul to love God. You'll get not contaminated. Contaminated again is like derogatory. That means you only get contaminated by dirty things or something. But you'll get that same enthusiasm. You get the same enthusiasm. You get the same nature whereby the flow of bhakti, when you get come in contact with another devotee, you want to be like them. It's like in the material world. If you want to learn how to play tennis, right? What do? You join a club. You join a club who's playing tennis, right? Because knowingly that in that club they will have some workshops, how to strike the ball in a certain angle, and how to build your stamina, build your energy. So similarly, in the process of becoming a devotee, which ultimately starts by association of devotees. Ado Shraddha. Yes, Shraddha means faith. And whereby when you associate with devotees, that faith means accepting something and having some trust that if I follow this, or if I buy this, or if I apply it to myself, I will also get the same result as from that person or that place or from that institution that I get it from. So the Krishna consciousness is like this. It says that it is like a seed that's being implanted by having contact with those devotees whose bhakti is overflowing. Whereby if you keep on associating with them, as Srila Rupa Goswami explains in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion, summary study of Srila Prabhupada, and the book of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami, there are 6 loving exchanges or associating with the devotees. Giving gifts, accepting gifts, revealing one's mind, and confide yourself, taking guidance. And the favorite of many are like accepting prasad and giving prasad. Usually, yes, accepting prasad. So by doing this process, then gradually also one develops love of God. Ultimately, it says that the seed of bhakti has to be watered by hearing and chanting. The degree whereby one can ascertain how much one is advanced is by one's attraction through hearing and chanting. If you see a devotee who is very absorbed in hearing and chanting, you can understand that this person is very advanced. Well, not just absorbed hearing and chanting, but also doing service. Because the result of chanting is that you ask for Krishna's service, then you should also do service. Others, they are always wanting to do service, but they don't read, or they chant, but they don't put so much emphasis in chanting. So it cannot be. It has to be side by side. You hear and chant, and you also read or hear from many advanced devotees. So what to do? Because not everybody lives near the temple. Right? We're very fortunate here. Walking distance, Krishna Balaram Mandir. What if you live in Faridabad or somewhere in a remote village in Italy? There is no devotees there. So how are you going to associate? Well, there are many ways how you can do this. One, you can associate with Srila Prabhupada through his books, because these are sound vibration. His purports are his intimate, very deep realization of Krishna consciousness. And also we associate with the acharyas by reading the purport. This is the summary. When he gives purports to his books, these are like summary of his understanding or translation from the acharyas. One way of association also nowadays, because of technology, is that one can go to Vrindavan.tv or Mayapur.tv. You can live stream anywhere in the world. You can attend Mangalartik of that temple. That doesn't mean you don't do Mangalartik at home also. You can lie in bed and just click Vrindavan.tv or Vibhabari Sesa. Okay, after the Mangalartik, click. Then you go back to bed. Then you cannot do that. It's not advisable to do that. Some devotees, they don't want to chant their rounds, or they don't, because they don't have taste. They will just hear the Maha Mantra box of Prabhupada always chanting. So I'm already also chanting because I'm hearing Prabhupada's chanting. No, it's not the same. One way also is to create your own group of devotees. You can start having a Namahata program at home. You can have this program whereby regularly one will have a meeting at home, at your place, with devotees, read the Bhagavad-Gita together, or read any of Srila Prabhupada's books, and analyze or discuss the contents of this the book, Srila Prabhupada's books. One way also of how to create association of devotees is to seek and find a spiritual friend. Now, one may not have a friend in a short distance. Your spiritual friend could be at the other side of the world. It could be in Australia, it could be in Acapulco, it could be in somewhere, any part of the world, and have a regular contact. Share your realization, and if you have any problems, so on, you can make a quick WhatsApp call, or Viber, or Messenger. So in this way, the association is not limited. Of course, there are two kinds of association. One is Vapu and one is Vani. Vapu means physical contact. It's like Prabhupada says, he can count in his fingers how many times he met his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, personally, physically. So also, because our spiritual master, he's engaged 24 hours a day, he's traveling all over the world, it's very rare that even when he comes, he's very rare that we can really get so close or ask confidential questions or relevant questions pertaining to our spiritual life. So it says that Vani is more important, meaning that instructions coming from the spiritual master is more important because eternally the relationship between the spiritual master and the disciple is established at the time of initiation. So in this lifetime, we have that relationship, and after this lifetime, we have that relationship also, because Guru is one, is being represented also by the disciplic succession. Guru is one means because the teachings is only one, coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, due to our forgetfulness, we have become conditioned. Prabhupada says, our main disease is that we have forgotten Krishna. We have that kind of what do you call that disease? Huh? No. You know, you bump your head and then amnesia. Yeah. You know, you bump your head, you get an accident, and then somehow some mechanism in the brain got disconnected, and says you forgot who you are, where you live, who is your parents, who is your family. You forgot everything, and sometimes it takes long time. Sometimes you're already in front of your parents, or your wife, or your husband, or your children, and you cannot even say, I don't know you. So we were like in that kind of condition. Krishna is within our reach, like arm length reach. He's there. Krishna is within our hearts, but still we don't realize. We go have darshan of the Supreme Lord. Of course, we have attraction. Krishna is all attractive. But then do we have a real realization of that personality on the altar is Krishna? So we need to revive this forgetfulness. And the fastest way how this can be revived is with the association of devotees. Because in the association of devotees, there is always the topic whereby Krishna is the center. When Krishna is the center and there is conversation and there is narration of Krishna's name, fame, form, qualities, and pastimes, Krishna is present. This is very important. We don't see Krishna through our eyes right now. How do we see Krishna? Through the ears. When someone narrates about the Supreme Lord, it goes inside our consciousness. Somehow or other we'll be able to picture that Krishna looks like this, Krishna plays like this, Krishna deals with his devotees like this. In this way, this is ingrained in our consciousness. It enters. Unlike nowadays, there's what you have professional reciters of Krishna's pastimes, and it just becomes like sense enjoyment. Because why? Because the persons who are talking, they're not really devotees. They're just like trained to explain or narrate the Supreme Lord's pastimes. Unlike in our movement, those devotees who are very, very advanced, they give very, very nice classes, and they also practice. As I've said last night, we're not like armchair philosophers. In Vrindavan, so many billboards you will see, so many speakers, the topics about the Supreme Lord. but it doesn't have so much effect, so much weight, so much value, because the people who goes and attend those narrations about the Supreme Lord, they only want to enjoy. They hear, and then when they go home, then they do all this nonsense activities. So, but because, yes, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says the symptom of a Vaishnava is that he tries, the first symptom of a Vaishnava is he tries to avoid the association of non-devotees. Asat Sangatyaga e Vaishnava Achara. He does not want to associate with them. But what about our devotees who goes to work? Because 99% of our devotees, they go to work. They associate with the worldly minded people. Those whose consciousness or whose mind is always absorbed with money and women. This is, a materialist is like this. They're absorbed. A devotee is absorbed in Krishna, and a materialist is absorbed in money. So, what to do? How are you going to associate with them? You have to be extra careful. As Prabhupada says, you don't take their association. You give your association. So one must be very, very strong. You have to do your sadhana early in the morning. Not that before going to work, like, half an hour before going to work, you're in a rush. You go catch the bus, or, you catch your carpool, or go and drive your car. No, you have to get up also way before. And do your Mangalarti, and read Srila Prabhupada's books, and chant some of your rounds. Like Prabhupada says, there is a way how to chant your rounds, especially the Grihastas. It's like you don't eat, you chant 4 rounds first before taking prasad. If you can chant 4 rounds before going to work, breakfast, then lunch, then dinner, and then then in between also you chant your rounds. Then you finish your 16 rounds. So the scriptures is so vast. We're not able to completely absorb or read all of them in this lifetime. But with the association of devotees, it's very easy. We can do it. Prabhupada was once asked, how long will it take you to become Krishna conscious? Prabhupada says, within a minute, or even a second, within a moment. Those who are engaged in devotional service in this lifetime, that means they must have lived a very pious life in their previous life. How is that possible that somehow we are here? We must have performed some pious activities. That pious activities means agyata sukriti. Agyata sukriti means unknowingly we did some kind of bhakti. Or, as Prabhupada says, your fortune, I give your fortune. He was once asked, how come we're so fortunate? Did we do some special thing in the past? No, Prabhupada says, I give you your fortune. Our spiritual master gave us our fortune. This is the way how parampara goes. Association with devotees is like a crystal. It's like, the devotee is like a crystal. You know what's a crystal? It's a white, no? And when the light strikes that crystal, it also produces the same light. If like say a red light strikes the crystal, it will also project red. So similarly, the heart of a pure devotee, because he is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, he's not in this world, he's in Goloka Vrindavan. Even though he's in the material world, actually he does not touch the earth. It's like when some devotees, they said, oh, Prabhupada, when he was walking, as if he's not touching the surface. He's not touching. It's like sliding, gliding. Why? Because he's fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness. So when we imbibe the same Krishna consciousness with those pure devotees, or devotees who are more advanced than we are, then we also get the reflection of their bhakti. That doesn't mean though that we don't have to chant. We still have to chant. Sometimes you say, Maharaj, give us your blessings. Of course, most of the people, they ask our blessings so that their material desires will become fulfilled. When we ask blessings from devotees, we should ask how I may be able to make further advancement in Krishna consciousness. I met some devotees like that during my travels. They say, Maharaj, please give me some blessings so that I can increase my bhakti. Please give me some blessings so that I may be able to serve my Guru Maharaj and the Vaishnavas in a very, very pleasing way. That should be. So while you're in Vrindavan, you can ask Gaurnitai, Krishna Balaram, Radhesham, Lalita Visakha to give you their blessings so that somehow you may be able to execute your devotional service sincerely, may be able to execute the process of devotional service with love and devotion, increase your chanting of the holy names of the Lord, have more taste in Srila Prabhupada's books. So in this way, the more we ask for blessings, then the more we should be also ready to reciprocate with the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord is so happy when He hears His name. Whenever we call upon Him, this is the most pleasing to the ears, to hear your name. We mentioned this also earlier. There was a study conducted in America, and what is the most pleasing word that one wants to hear? And they concluded, the number one is that to hear your own name. So if this applies to us, what to say of Krishna? When you say the name Krishna, ultimately Krishna will come. Just like Draupadi, when she was in despair, she was in big problem. There's no other way to alleviate from her pain and suffering because she is being disrobed. And when she says, "Hey Govinda, I surrender unto you, I cannot do anything," then Krishna became unlimited sari. That is the incarnation of Krishna, a sari incarnation. So Krishna will always protect His devotees according to our level of devotion, according to the level of our faith. Yayatamam prapajante tam sataiva bhajami aham. The more we want to cultivate the process of devotional service, then the more Krishna will protect us accordingly. So the direct engagement of one's activities in Krishna consciousness can factually attain his constitutional position, being the eternal servitor of the Supreme Lord. And this situation takes place especially in hearing and chanting and glorifying the Supreme Lord in pure devotional service. In devotional service, there is no shortcut. There's no shortcut. Everybody has to follow the same procedure. It can be expedited if we're ready to accept the blessings and mercy of those who are more advanced than we are, or those personalities that the Supreme Lord sent to perform the thankless task to save the conditioned souls. The pure devotees of the Lord, they perform activities without expecting anything in return. In the material world, everything is expecting something whenever they do something, right? They don't move not until they will not do their work if they expect that no paycheck will come at the end of the month. They'll become, oh, why shall I do this? But devotees are ever increasingly inspired, ever increasingly enthusiastic in their service without expecting anything in return. This is the mood of the Brajabasis, those who live in Vrindavan, the residents of Vrindavan. For them, whether Krishna reciprocates or not, no. They don't expect anything. When will that day come when we will reach that kind of level of devotion towards the Supreme Lord? I don't want anything for myself. Is that possible? Yes, it is possible. If that is possible with the Brajabasis, as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, we should follow in the footsteps of the Brajabasis, because they exemplify the topmost level of devotion and love towards the Supreme Lord. And Lord Krishna, He cannot repay back that kind of love and devotion that the Brajabasis are giving towards Him. Lord Krishna says, I cannot repay you. I am indebted to you. All I can pray or all I can say is that you continue on to what you're doing. That is the reward. You see, there is no end. Bhakti is eternal. Bhakti is not only in this lifetime. After this, we continue on to do bhakti. We continue on to chant the holy name of the Lord. We continue remembering Krishna. We continue chanting His name, fame, form, qualities, and pastimes. It never ends. It's just only increasing. The reward that the devotee will ultimately achieve is that unending bliss. Unending and always increasing. So, that is the ultimate goal of life, and somehow or other, we're given a chance in this lifetime. We're given a chance in this lifetime to attain that level of devotion and love towards the Supreme Lord. That transcendental loving service towards Radha and Krishna. And this is not mythology. This is not somebody's speculation. Why are we still here? We can walk out anytime. We can give this up anytime. But why are we still doing this? What is the reason? Because it's tangible. There is a tangible result. We can feel it. Whatever the Shastra says is actually real. And because we practice it, it is naturally, joyfully performed. So keep going on like this. As we mentioned also yesterday, just always think that every day is a new year, and every day, Prabhuji, you dropped Bhagavad-Gita many times. Put it back there. Thank you very much. We should also think, as the scripture says, that this could be our last day. We should, when we wake up in the morning, we should think that this could be my last day in serving the Supreme Lord. So let me make it to the most lovable, dedicated sincerely trying to serve and please the Supreme Lord through His devotees today? Because I don't know. Maybe tomorrow I will not be able to exist. Tomorrow, who knows what's going to happen. But if I make today as the very best, because day by day, devotee is thinking also that, oh, another day is passed, that means I'm getting closer and closer to Krishna. It's not that, oh, the materialist is, oh no, another day. Devotee should be always thinking, oh, why I did not take advantage of today. It's okay, it's tomorrow, I'll make it up. I'll go and increase my service. I'll increase my dedication. I'll increase my way how I'm able to please the Supreme Lord and His devotees. So in this way, the advancement is there. One should not be complacent. One should not be content that, oh, this is what I do. Okay. No, we should think of many ways how to increase and develop the ways how we please the Supreme Lord and His devotees. And therefore, if we always think like this, and that day will come, that at the end of our life, we'll go back to the spiritual world. It's very simple, isn't it? Well, of course, it's easy to say. But we have to pay the price. We have to act in that way. We have to really beat our mind. Yeah, determination, dridha vrata. It says here, this determined faith is called dridha vrata, and it is the beginning of bhakti-yoga, or transcendental loving service. I know you're already all dridha vrata, but you just have to be a little bit more. Go always one step increasing. You're determined. Okay, I'm determined. Oh, Prabhupada says the meaning of determination. Do you know what's the meaning of determination? Determination, Prabhupada says, is that I am determined to be determined that one day I will become fully Krishna conscious. You are determined to become determined that one day I will become fully Krishna conscious. And hopefully that is today. Not you says, oh, some materialist is like that. I've seen a video. Oh, okay, I'll change tomorrow. I'll be a different person tomorrow or next week. I will try to improve next week. No, you should try to improve now. Isn't it? That next week will not come. Time and tide waits for no one. Or next year, 2020, next 2020, I'll chant more Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. No, today. But it's not so easy because it needs a lot of determination. And that determination you can get in the association of devotees. Because you're inspired by their determination. Okay, I'll stop here. Any questions or comments? Yes.
You were talking about how Sanatana Swami had an illness.
Yes. Yeah, Sanatana Goswami, he had this illness. He wanted to give up his body because he thought it is useless. There's no use of this. Yeah. Yeah, I'm repeating it. Sanatana Goswami, he thought that his body is useless. What is the use of this body? What? He's hopeless. I cannot do anything about this body because of this disease. He contacted some disease while on a journey to see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yes?
So, but at the same time, you explained how the pure devotee or self-realized
Yes, yes, yes.
So basically,
So why Sanatana Goswami is like that?
times, like, for example, when I read Chaitanya Charitamrita, you can see it looks as if the pure devotees had material attachment.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
for example, when Lord Chaitanya left, they wanted to leave.
Yeah.
Actually, if you self-realize, you see God everywhere.
Yes. Oh, how do we do this? How do we see it like this? Ultimately, this is example. These are all examples for us. Actually, this body is useless if I don't use it for Krishna's service. I should use it for Krishna's service, then it doesn't matter. As Prabhupada says, we should make the best out of the bad bargain. This body is actually it'll perish anytime. As much as possible, I want a better body than this. The materialist is the opposite. They're attached to their body, right? So this is a dichotomy here. Is the opposite. When the devotees, and when you see these pastimes in the sastras, these are examples for us to follow. So if I'm not using this body for the service of Krishna, that is useless. But actually this body belongs to Krishna. So let me use it for Krishna's service.
So you mean that he was not feeling like that really because he...
Well, no. They actually feel. They actually feel like that. That when Krishnadas Kaviraj says, I'm lower than the stool, worm in the stool. They actually feel like that. Pure devotees, they feel like that, but they are not like that. A pure devotee doesn't think he is a devotee.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's right.
How is it possible if you are seeing Krishna everywhere?
That's the whole thing is you don't have to be proud. The pride is there. Oh, I'm a devotee now. Everyone should respect me. Everyone should glorify me. Everyone should touch my feet. No, a devotee thinks he's so humble. He's very humble. He thinks that everyone is a devotee except myself. All of you are doing nice service except myself. A pure devotee thinks like this. Even though he is engaged 24 hours and he is the topmost. He is the most humble. He is the most knowledgeable. And he is always quiet. But when he opens his mouth, like Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, practically he doesn't know how to read and write. But why Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was instructed by Bhaktivinoda Thakur that you take initiation from him. And then when he went to see Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he says, you are the topmost scholar. You are Bhakti, Siddhanta, or Surya. Surya, he knows this Siddhanta. He knows. He's a scholar. He's an astronomer and all these things. And you come to me? He feels himself unqualified. We should always think, I am unqualified. This is the mood. We should never think, I am qualified enough. That is pride. Was that? Pride comes first before fall down. So we should be always in that mood. This is example. Even though it's genuinely, Sanatana Goswami is feeling like that. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no. Haridas Thakur is the Namacharya and he doesn't want to go to, of course, he doesn't want to go to Jagannath temple. He's not qualified also. Because, you have to be a Hindu. And he came from a Muslim family. But instead of him having darshan of Jagannath, Jagannath comes to see him. And then when he's not able to chant his rounds, because of old age, he says, I'm not able to chant my rounds. I have this disease now. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, no, you don't have to chant your rounds anymore. You're 192 rounds. We should never think that I have done enough. We should never think that I accomplished everything in my life. We should always struggling. We should be always struggling for the pleasure of Guru and Vaishnavas. Huh? And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will bestow His mercy upon us like what He did to Sanatana Goswami. It's very rare to find a devotee who doesn't have any pride. It's very rare because everyone wants. It says also, even a pauper is proud of his penny. A beggar is so proud because he has 1 paisa or 1 cent. He's proud. A devotee doesn't have any prideness. But Prabhupada says, we should be proud to be a devotee. Being a devotee, yes. But not to the extent that I'm a devotee and you are non-devotee, I don't care about you. I'm only concerned about myself. You can go to hell. I don't care. That is not proper. I'm a devotee. Yes, I'm a devotee. Therefore, I should also help others to become devotee. That is the proper way how you place your being proud to become a devotee, being a devotee. Anything else here? Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, Sanatana Goswami has a kind of disease, skin disease.
And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to try to embrace it.
Yeah.
And then all this blood or pus.
Yeah, that's
Another reason also would be he didn't want to keep this body.
that's one of the reason why.
He had to not to
Yeah, it's unfit. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to embrace him. He says no.
and he was running away and he still grabbed him.
Yeah. No. That means, yes, we should always feel unqualified. This body is a bag of flesh and stool and urine and pus. You take away, you try to like peel this skin here. It's ugly. It's really ugly. So beauty is only skin deep, actually. Okay? We should always feel unqualified. That is the whole teachings here. We should always feel unqualified, and that will be our qualification to receive the Supreme Lord's mercy. The mercy from our spiritual master. We should always, even though we know in some subjects we know better than our Guru Maharaj, still we should go in front of him that we don't know anything. Full number 1. Not full number 2, but full number 1. Even scholars like, Bhakti Sarup Damodar Maharaj, he knows he knows like, scientist. But in front of Srila Prabhupada, he will, show himself. That will be our qualification. That will be our ticket to go back home, back to Godhead. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was asked, what is our Siddha Swarup? The Siddha Swarup means our eternal form, right? And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, our eternal form is Trinad api sunichena taror api sahistuna amanena manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Right from the beginning till the end and beyond, that is our form. We should be more humbler than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree, and always ready to offer respect to everyone, and not expecting any respect for ourselves. And that can be done. More we chant, the more we'll become humble. But to be humble, you should chant. And the more you chant, you'll become more humble. Because you cannot chant if you're not humble. And the more you chant, the more you become humbler. It goes side by side. So thank you very much. New Year 2019 Ki. Becoming more Krishna conscious Ki. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna.